Hello students, in this video we are going to discuss constructors. It will be an introduction to constructors. So what are constructors? It's a special kind of method. Okay, constructor is a special kind of method because it does not have a return type. Okay, it does not have a return type, not even void. Okay. So normally when you define a method, you must have a return type. For example, if I create a class here, and let us say I want to create one function named add. Okay. Now this add function does not have any return type. So if I compile this, I will get an error, invalid method declaration, return type required. Okay. But so one point is clear, that you cannot have a function without a return type, but since constructor is a special kind of method, it can have no return type. Okay. It should have no return type. So and the second point is, it has the same name as the class name. Okay. It has the same name as the class name. And the third reason why it is special is that because it can be invoked only via the new operator. Okay. You cannot call it explicitly by writing down its name. So let's look at all these points by writing code. Okay. So let's create a constructor following all the rules that we have just discussed. First rule is that it does not have a return type. Okay, not even void. Okay. So we'll do this. And then it must have the same name as the class. Okay, so let's do this. Same name as the class. What is the class name here? The class name is test1. Okay, the class name is test1. So I am going to write here test1. Okay, and now I open I put a set of parentheses here, and then I will open its scope. Now this test1, okay, this test1, it looks like a method. Okay, isn't it? For example, when you create a function, let's say void add. Okay, void add. So you can see we have got an identifier here and then a set of parentheses. Similarly, here also we have got an identifier and a set of parentheses. But in this case we have the return type, but in this case we don't have any return type. Okay. Now if I compile this, I will not get any error. Okay. So I have compiled this and you can see that we don't have any error. But if I remove the return type from this before this add function, I will get an error now. Okay. So look at this, invalid method declaration, return type required, but there is no error for this. Okay. So the compiler, when it sees that the identifier here is same as the class name, it understands that this is a constructor. Okay. And therefore it does not require a return type. So let's bring back void here. Okay. So here we have seen that a constructor has the same name as the class and it has no return type. Okay. Now what is the third point? So we have seen both the points. What is the third point? The third point is it can be invoked only via the new operator, okay, and it cannot be invoked by like a normal method call, okay. So let's try to understand this. This constructor can be invoked only via the new operator, okay. So let's create a main function here, static void main. Okay. Now if I want to call this constructor, okay, if I want to call this function add here, if I want to call this from the main function, I will just have to write the name of the function and the function will be called. So let's execute this. Okay, so let's compile this and execute. You can see here when I call the main function, the add function is called, and within the add function there is system.out.println add is called. So to call a function, a normal function, a normal method, we can call it explicitly, okay, by writing the name of the function followed by parenthesis. But we cannot do this with constructors. So let's say here I try to call test1, okay, I write here test1. So when I write here test1 and compile it, you can see this is showing me an error, cannot find symbol method test1, okay. So that is the meaning of the third statement, that it cannot be invoked like a normal method call, okay. So how can it be invoked? It can be invoked via the new operator. That means what? So that means we have to create an object for calling the constructor. Whenever an object is created, the constructor is called by default, okay. It is, let's create an object here, test1 obj, okay, object name is equal to new test1, okay, and parenthesis. So if you notice here, after the new keyword we have got an identifier and then a set of parentheses. So this is very much similar to a function call, okay, but this is always associated with the new operator. Whenever the new operator is executed, the constructor will be called by default, okay. So when this executes, the control comes to the constructor and whatever statements are there inside the constructor, it gets executed, okay. Whatever statements are there inside the constructor, it gets executed. So in this example we just have one statement inside the constructor which simply prints constructor has been called, okay. So let's see the output for this and notice what will happen. Notice what will happen when I call the main function, okay. As soon as I call the main function, the control will come to line number 13 and this test1 will be automatically invoked, Let's have a look at this. So notice carefully, I am clicking on void main, okay. As soon as I click on void main, you can see that the control was transferred to the constructor. Constructor has been called. Okay. There is no explicit call. There is no explicit call like a function to this constructor. Okay. The call was made by this new operator. Here, when this new operator got executed, the constructor was automatically called. Okay. So that is the meaning of this. Okay, that it can be invoked only via the new operator. Okay. So what are the uses of constructors? Well, the first use is it assigns default values to instance variables. Okay, it initializes the object with default values. Or we can take some other example, like all of you must have played, or most of you must have played the game Subway Surfer. In Subway Surfer, the boy, the skater, has got a certain default position on the screen, isn't it? The boy is standing on the railway track, so the position is predefined. So the constructor can help us in dealing with such situations. Okay, when we need to initialize a certain position while making a game. Okay, so the boy's position is decided by a constructor. And another example we can take, like Microsoft Word. Okay, in Microsoft Word, the default position of the cursor, okay, the position of the cursor is at a certain place, isn't it? So this also can be done through a constructor. Then we can take another example for a bank. Okay, when we open a bank account, so we must deposit some amount to open the account. Okay, some minimum amount should be there. So in that case, we can use a constructor to initialize the default value of the balance instance variable. So for example, so here you can see I have got a class bank. Okay, in this bank I have got a few instance variables like balance, name, okay, and account number. All these are instance variables. And I have got this bank constructor here, okay, which initializes the value of balance for every object of bank as 500. Okay, so let's see it in action. I have created an object here, obj1. Okay, now when I print obj1 dot balance, okay, the output should be 500. So let's compile this and see the output. So here you can see that the balance is 500. So with the help of constructor, we are assigning the default value of balance for this newly created object as 500. Let's create one more object here. Bank obj2 is equal to new bank. Okay. Again, we print the value of obj1, sorry, not obj1, obj2 dot balance. Okay. So, here also the output will be same 500. Okay. So, here this one is OBJ1's default balance and this one is OBJ2's default balance. So, this default value is being assigned by the constructor here. So, I will stop here and I will continue in the next video. Thank you.